I'm speaking with a very happy Mayor of Cowra, Bill West. Now, Bill, you've had I suppose we could say a victory.
Well, to correct the record, Gary, always happy Mayor, you know that. Particularly talking to you. Yeah, with the LEP you're referring to, I don't use the word victory, but we've got a good result, and I think it's important to just reflect that it has been a long process. It's been a very hard process. The council has most certainly stuck very much to the guns. And the final result is something that we are pleased with, but there's still a bit of way to go. But yeah, the word victory, I never saw it as a war. It was just a matter we had to resolve some issues, and we've spent a lot of time and a lot of hard work. We've done that.
I suppose to use the same analogy, you could say probably lost a few battles along the way, and maybe we've won the war.
Well, I'll say we've won the war when the LEP proper is adopted. This is only a Section 65 certificate to enable us to go out onto public exhibition. Yeah, there's been a few hiccups and a couple of bruises along the way, but you know, this is an important issue for our community, and it's not just about. A lot of the argument's been about, and focus has been on rural land with the ability to attract a dwelling entitlement, but there's other areas of the Shire that are impacted, and some zoning that has to be done, and making sure some of those long-term planning positions are adopted by the council, and you know, it's a good document in a variety of ways.
So I suppose we could say it's gone from about 2002, 2003 to now, so we're talking about a 10-year period. I know the original ones that came out asking for a 400 hectare, imposing a 400 hectare lot size created extreme angst.
Yeah, I think you're saying 2002, 2003. I think that's around about when we started with identified problems with some of the planning issues. There was an inquiry into certain planning matters in Cowra. Back around that time, there was also a state government inquiry into minimum lot sizes in rural areas in the Central West, about 2004, 2005. We then led into that was to cut very much to the chase, so to speak. We then got to the point of going down the process of actually doing a LEP land use strategy, local profile land use strategy issues paper into the LEP, and that's been a long process, 2007, 2008 or thereabouts. And then I think it was sometime last year, well in the middle of last year, that we got a Section 65 certificate. But it was with the 400 hectares and not a good provision for intensive ag. We believe that was wrong as well, and there were some anomalies there which we highlighted. And the council decided that at some point we were going to have to try and resolve this issue, so we chose that as the time to work to resolve the issue. And I've got to say, in all honesty, we had some very frank discussions with some people, but in the end we got a fair go and I think a good hearing. So it's been a long process, and the community's been extremely patient, and they're entitled to be a little bit frustrated with it. But I think the end result is we got what we were seeking, and I think what the community was seeking. And now it'll hopefully Monday night it'll go in public exhibition. People have an opportunity to comment again, and as a result of that, I'd be very hopeful that we can get it out on public exhibition, get it back, and by the end of this calendar year we can at least have the Minister sign off and adopt it our LEP, which has been a long time coming. But it's not just about agricultural land, as I said earlier. It really is about, there's some land we're looking to rezone for industrial purposes, residential purposes, defining a few clauses in the LEP which we thought were deficient, giving some certainty in some areas where there was a little bit of ambiguity. So there's a lot of issues that are rolled into this big document.
Now, of course, no doubt other departments will have their, I suppose, what's the word, two bobs worth. Now, is there any chance that is going to influence this to any great degree?
One can never guarantee, but one can always hope. Hope springs eternal. No, look, I'm reasonably confident that whilst we understand the position of some of the departments, I would be reasonably confident that the position we've reached now is a position of common sense and a position which the community are happy with, and we believe we've ticked off, and talking specifically here about the minimum lot sizes with a dwelling entitlement in agricultural land, broad acre agricultural land, we believe we've ticked off all the issues that need to be ticked off in terms of ensuring that we don't have land use conflict, we don't lose good land to residential purposes in agricultural areas. So all that land use conflict, all those issues, we reckon we're very confident we have overcome and argued our way around those. In terms of intensive ag, there is a provision in there now for a clause-based description rather than a minimum lot size. The minimum lot size that had, we felt, a lot of openness to it and would have lent itself open to abuse, actually. So it would have been like, on one hand you had 400, which is what the department was saying. On the other hand, you could have 40 for intensive, but there could have been intensive, and you read the description, it could have been extensive as well, which is basically farming. So, there was this real issue. And unfortunately, again, the department's listened to reason, listened to the argument, and they realise that we're as keen as they are to preserve agricultural land for agricultural purposes, but this gives certainty to people to have to commit for intensive ag, have to commit rather than just,
So would, summing the whole thing up, would it be correct to say that, assuming this does go public exhibition, assuming that it then gets signed off, the end result will be certainty?
The end result will be certainty, and the end result will be all things being equal. The stars aligning. We should be able to see something by the end of this calendar year at last.
Sometime before the next solstice.
Sometime before, exactly. Yeah. It's been a long process, and I got to acknowledge whilst it's been a big fight, big. In his website, whilst it's been a big issue we had to resolve. We've nonetheless had very good support from councillors. My colleagues have been very firm on this, and it's been a pleasure to work with them on this one. Senior staff have been very supportive, but we've also received some good hearings from both ministers, planning and prime ministers. We've got to make that clear. And some of the bureaucrats also have been very, very, very good to talk to, even though we had some difference of opinions and had to work our way through things. But yeah.
Well, that's great. Thank you for sort of explaining that to us. It's very complex. It's been a complex process over a long time. It's nice that there's a little light at the end of the tunnel.
Thanks, Gary. And it has been complex, and you were very much the part of the early part of this, and you're aware of some of the issues we had to deal with, and some of the hurdles that were chucked up at us that were just absolute nonsense. But patience and perseverance, you can work your way through things, and a bit of goodwill and a bit of good humour, and hopefully, my friend, we'll sit back and reflect upon it. It's been a good story at the end.